Okay. So welcome everyone. Just so glad you're here. We're talking about client alchemy and the predictable path to premium clients today. So let's get started. Jumping in, today we're solving a very specific problem, and you're capable, you have experience, and you're putting in real effort. Your business is not producing consistent premium clients as you would like. Some months you feel really strong, and other months feel unpredictable. So you're having conversations, but not enough high level yes decision conversations. And you're doing a lot, but not translating it into reliable premium revenue. So here's the truth. This is not a lead problem. This is a positioning and decision-making problem. And today I'm going to show you how to fix it. So before we go further, I want to shift your state. This is a time you made, well, so what I'd like you to do actually is think of a time where you made a fast decision, a certain decision, and it worked. So you had no hesitation. I want you to think of that, um, think of that decision that you made, get it in your thoughts, bring it top and center. You had no hesitation, no overthinking, just clarity, and lock that feeling in. So you know what that feels like. You can reproduce it. It's certainty, clarity, authority. And now sit taller. We're going to do our power pose in our seat, and breathe it in. Breathe in that certainty, clarity, authority. Feel that in your core. Anchor this in and repeat out louder with me. Just, I make decisions like the level of business I want to run. I make decisions
Decisions for the
like the
level
level of
of
business
business
I want to run. So again, one more time, we're going to anchor this in. I make decisions
decisions
like the
for the
level
level
of
of
business
business
I want to
to
run.
run.
And this is how revenue producing decisions are made. It's that energy. So now I'd like to get our energy up. Um, Luther, you're new here, and Terry and Kath have been here before, and hopefully the people who are listening to the replay, we're going to do something called priming, just a mini version of it, so that we can get our energy in the right place, our mind centered, and whenever during this program, please drink water because it's really important to stay hydrated. I can't overemphasize that. So your energy and hydration make a huge difference in your day, just any day, not necessarily just this, um, this program. So what we're going to do is raise our arms over our head, take a deep breath in, and then bring them down and do it to the count of 10. Okay, so we're going to start now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Hopefully you can feel that in your chest and your body. Um, it's so that your energy picks up. Whenever you're feeling low energy that impacts your day, it actually impacts your decision making. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's talk about why you're not getting premium clients right now. The real issue is simple. You're operating below the level of business that you require. And there are 3 points that impact that. One is blurry positioning. The wrong clients show up. Hesitation in your conversation is number 2. Trust drops. And overcomplicating the strategy. Execution is slow. All of those things, our job as business owners or executives building businesses is to have our clients know, like, and trust us. And these 3 things can block that. So execution is a speed. When you're executing at speed is everything. So here's the shift that I like to suggest. It's not about more effort. It's not about harder work. You need to make sharper decisions. So now let's make this real. This is where your experience shifts everything. So grab a piece of paper right now. We're going to actually write something. It's going to be a 3-step process. So the first step is identify. Think of one client conversation you've had recently, or maybe one that's coming up. And I'm imagining that most of you have those already set. And I'm sure you can think of some you had yesterday or the day before, but think of one conversation that you had. Where did you hesitate? Or where might you hesitate in the future, in the conversation coming up? Where did you hesitate? Was it in explaining your offer, naming the investment, or asking for a decision? Be honest with yourself. Where did you hesitate? Great. Now, let's upgrade that. Now ask, what would be the premium version of me what would the premium version of me say here? What would be the premium version of you that would say here? Of that same, the obstacle that you had, the hesitation, what would be the premium version of you that would be explaining the offer, the investment, or the decision, or whatever was the hesitation? What would be the premium version of you? Maybe it's shorter, maybe it's cleaner, more direct. Decide on one sentence you would say instead. Great. Now, everybody's writing. I want to make sure you're done. Does anyone need more time? Okay. So now what we want to do is embody this. So sit up again, get in that power pose, and say that sentence that you just wrote. Say that sentence, that one sentence you would say instead that would be possibly shorter or clearer or more direct. Say that internally or out loud right now. No question, no apology, just feel the difference. Feel the power of that one sentence. And that is the gap between inconsistent clients and the premium clients that you want. Excellent. So premium clients are not waiting for more information. They are responding to how you show up. So think of yourself as the customer and how you react to just more information or the energy of the person that is, promoting something to you. So let's talk about what premium clients actually buy. They're not buying information, as I said, not more content, not more convincing. They are buying certainty, clarity, and leadership. Certainty, clarity, and leadership. Premium clients decide fast when they trust the person leading them. It's again that know, like, and trust. When we're in the knowing phase, we're nurturing those clients, and when we're in the they feel who you are, and that creates that trust level. So premium clients decide fast when they trust the person that they're talking to. If you sound unsure, they hesitate. And if you lead, they will follow. when you're in your certainty. So let's simplify everything here. It's attract, convert, and retain. These are the big focuses of your conversations. Attract, convert, and retain. So attract is clarity. The clear outcome you have, the easier it is for your potential client to trust you. And who you help and the results you deliver will make clarity for them a driver, a decision maker. So speak to the pain and ambition, but position as a specialist. So that is attract clarity, clear outcome, and then convert. So convert is, again, the leadership. It's number two. Convert is number two. Leadership, ask better questions, stop over explaining, guide decisions with confidence. And I know, at least I know Terry is in a position right now. She's got a launch in her business. And so, you know, what is important for her is to convert, is her leadership as she's explaining her offer. Retain, that's the results. Create early wins and reinforce the value that your prospect or client is getting quickly. Build that long-term relationship that they can depend on, that they can trust. And that word trust is really important. And so it's a belief shift. You don't need more leads. You need better alignment with yourself. So you don't need necessarily more leads, but it's being congruent. What I like to say is underwriting criteria, how you pick your clients and what is the right client for you. So now the real lever is identity drives execution. You already know enough. So then what's missing? So consistency under pressure, clean decisions, and this is a really important one, is higher standards. When you raise your standards, you attract the right clients. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your standards. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your standards. So if you are ready to operate at a higher level, I have something called the CEO Reset Council. It's an executive level environment to sharpen decisions, elevate positioning, and create consistent premium client flows. And two of the tools that I use in there are something called a promptings journal. Several of you have, oh, it's right here. I use it daily, and it's great. It measures your emotional state first thing in the morning. I don't know if you can see that. This is this is your vibrancy chart, where you are when you start your day, where you want to be. You get a choice on your emotional state. It also captures your gratitude statements, what your intentions are for today, what you want to do. And there's a part to journal with. This is a great journal, and I'll put the link in the chat when we're done. But that is a tool that's really been critical for me every day. Maybe you already use the system, and if you are, notice the difference of how your day goes and how your emotional state is when you are writing things down and really identifying what's important to you every day. So it's a daily tool to stay aligned, focused, and decisive. So I don't chase clients. I make decisions that attract them. That's what I want you to say, is I don't chase clients. Say it out loud. I don't chase clients. I
Chase.
make decisions
I
that
make decisions
attract them.
and
I
attract.
don't chase clients. I make decisions that attract them. So make one decision today that you've been delaying. Write that down. What is one decision that you've been avoiding or delaying that can make a huge difference in who you attract?
What was the last part again? I don't chase
I
clients. I
don't
make decisions.
to attract them. I don't chase clients. I make decisions to attract them. Great. So what's one decision that you've made? What's the one decision that you're going to execute today? Terry, what's your thoughts on
Social
that?
media videos.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
Mm,
Excellent. Get
I'm failing there.
exposure. Get
Yeah.
exposure. Now you will be successful with that. Luther, what is one decision that you can make today that will make a difference in attracting clients?
I don't know. I'm overwhelmed by your presentation. I'm really grateful that we met. Um, I tend to take on a risk for the clients. I tend to step in front of the train. I tend to take, I do things when I meet a client. I my difficulty is I work in a silo, and sometimes I don't get out for a year or 2 years. And
Oh, wow.
this is one thing, not literally, but I get so deep into my work that I forget how to even interact with people. So I have a
Um,
very good base right now, and I want to go out and start networking. But normally, when I meet potential clients, I will make offers like, I'll build you a prototype. You don't have to sign a contract. I'll get your project started. You don't have to pay anything for 6 months. I take the risk, and usually this gets me the contract. So I have a lot of newer contracts that I'm working on here in New York, and people like this approach. So I'm making these decisions already to attract these
right,
clients, but my approach is typically to just take the risk and take the first step and
right.
give them their reduce the risk for them. And a lot of times they hesitate because of that trust that you say. Everything you're saying is just like exactly. I have a different approach about it. So, but it's still the same thing. It's about trust, and trust is one of the biggest things that I try to earn from a new client by having me take on their risks, and that's what
Well,
I approach it.
I would say, Luther, you are in a very heavy duty, position. Architecture and the projects you take on are huge. And what I'm hearing from you actually is that you do go into a conversation with a client with a lot of certainty and clarity and leadership. Taking that risk is a lot of leadership. You're there. It's not, I mean, I can hear in your voice, there's no hesitation and your clients or your prospects sense that. I'm just curious when you do talk to someone, a prospect, what would you say is your close rate? Like if you talk to five people who need your services, out of those five, how many would you expect to close? And I don't even know if you talk to five in 1 year, so with the big projects, but
Four, four, most.
sure. Okay.
Um, I
I
have,
want to give you a high five here. That's great.
um,
Yes.
yeah, I could give you stories, but I don't want to take over
Right.
your presentation.
Right.
But anyway, it's just there's a lot of good things happening right now for me,
It
and
sounds that way.
I'm a little bit nervous that I don't know, maybe it's the world news or whatever, but anyway, I'm glad to meet you. I'm going to be on here quite a bit, so
Excellent. Well, what I would like to suggest, Luther, is we all need to be aware of the world news, but anchor yourself in every day in what you do because you still have clients, they have needs, and you are fulfilling them. And when you get worried, do some priming, you know, refocus. your energy and where you're putting your attention, because that will make a huge difference.
And it's not just the news, it's the fact that a lot of my clients are overseas. I use a lot of Chinese manufacturing.
Yeah, yeah,
My
yeah,
wife is from Morocco, and it's just like I see the whole thing going up like. But anyway, I don't get too deep into the news per se,
yeah.
only if it somehow affects the business. But anyway, yeah, I understand.
Well, that is, that is the uncertainty we live in. And when you learn, I I have a client who feels a great deal of uncertainty, and pretty much every coaching session we work on that. And she has what we call affirmations, incantations, things that she says to herself to refocus herself away from the uncertainty, and it works. She's thriving, and it makes a difference. We just all are in a uncertain time, and it's not to put our heads in the sand, unfortunately. And you have much some bigger, I'm going to say bigger issues because of your supply chain, where things come from, how things work. And still, your energy is going to make a difference on how that all works out. It's a little bit of quantum physics or whatever you want to go to. So stay with your certainty and your clarity and your leadership. It will make a huge difference, no matter what happens. So I would encourage you to do that. So I wanted to, I'd like to get into some Q and A's. Is there anyone else who has any question? Oh, Kath, I'm sorry, I didn't ask you what is the statement that or the decision today that you've been delaying on, is what would that be for you?
Well, I really don't have one because basically the airline's canceling my flight. I've got things to do, cancel hotels,
Oh,
cancel
right,
this, and then rearrange my whole schedule for the next 5.5 weeks. So that's really what I have to do.
right, right. That's true. That's true. A new goal, a new milestone. Well, we're here to support you, Kath, in however we can. And I just wanted to mention, Terry, you might enjoy Kathleen's book, However Long the Day. It's Kathleen's excellent at her writing, and it's available on Amazon. So think about looking that up. So, all right. So, does anyone have any questions? Because I've got some questions for you. Okay. Um, so where in your business are you hesitating? Where in your business are you hesitating? And you don't have to answer this right now. I just want to bring these questions to kind of top of mind so that you can, just take a step out of yourself and look at your leadership and what you're doing. Where in your business are you hesitating that requires leadership? What decisions are you avoiding? And if you want to share here, please feel free. And those who are watching the replay, please write these down and look at what are the solutions you would have to things that you're hesitating on. Okay. And if you're already operating at a premium level, what would what would you stop doing immediately to up level that? Sometimes we look at our measurements and statistics and analytics, and maybe there's something that you would change even while you're operating at that premium level. And question number 3 is what would need to feel true for you to make faster, cleaner decisions starting today? What would need to feel true for you to make faster, cleaner decisions starting today? It's great. I just want to acknowledge all of you for being here because it's in these moments when you step back out of your normal day to think about yourself and your business is where you actually make the biggest leaps forward. Because when you're in the thick of things, it's generally difficult. You know, we've all got to-do lists or responsibilities, family, even our businesses, you know, our staffs that we're dealing with. And we don't often get to look at those obstacles. And when we do, it may be a 2 millimeter shift that can change everything in your life. It's just taking time. There's a gentleman named Keith Cunningham, and he says it's called think time. And he recommends an hour a week. Pick a question, you know, like these questions I've been just asking. You know, today, you know, what would need to be to feel true for you to make faster, you know, for me to make faster, cleaner decisions. And just sit there with a pad of paper and just keep repeating that question or whatever question is relevant for you in the moment. And that's the way think time is used because your brain will take that question and start brainstorming on its own and come up with a viable answer. It's really remarkable. So I want to again say thank you for being here. I so enjoy your enthusiasm and your commitment to time to put this time aside. And the next program is actually not next Tuesday. So this is the only Tuesday we are missing in this webinar series. It is every Tuesday. And the next program is called the Momentum Morning, aligning your mind, body, and mission so that you can execute with much more clarity. I do have a program this Thursday. It's called Q2 Reset. You just went through the first quarter of 2026. I have to tell you, I don't know if you're amazed, but I am shocked. We are already here in April. Q1 went by so fast. And what it's about is to look at what were the patterns you created in quarter one around your business, your family, your prospecting, your marketing. What were patterns that you created? And did the work you did in the first quarter, was it in alignment with your 2026 goals so you can get there? If the actions you took in the first quarter were not aligned, that's a learning point. And now in Q2, what needs to change to get you to the end goal, the goal post, you know, the celebration, December 31st, 2026. So that is this Thursday. It's I don't, if you're interested, let me just put actually let me put my email address. If you're interested in that the Q2 reset, I will put it in, I think in the chat. Okay, actually, there is I just put in the chat the link for the promptings journal, which I love, guys, and then my phone number and email. So if you'd like to come to the program on Thursday, it is a different Zoom because it's not in the regular webinar series, and I love it's one of my favorite webinars or seminars I do. I do it 4 times a year. The last one in December is to get, well, I suggest November, December to get ready for the following year, but it's really a great exercise to bring awareness of what you're doing. So it's really about aligning your mind, your body, your mission, everything all in one. So remember, don't chase clients. That's the statement you're saying is, I don't chase clients. I make decisions to attract them. I don't chase clients. I make decisions to attract them. And know where you're hesitating and you will know what needs to shift. So decide more, and I will see you in the next session. Thank you all for being here, and thank you to whoever is watching the replay. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
It was good. Thank you.
Thanks, Terry. Bye-bye.
Bye.